A law school hands you a scholarship. It's a big number in the award letter. You sign, you show up, you work like crazy your first year. Then the grades post and your GPA comes back a hair under the line they set, and half that money is gone. Not because you failed, but because the line was drawn above where most of the class was ever going to land. And those are the renewal terms in a lot of conditional scholarships, working exactly the way they were built to work. Now, I've been teaching the LSAT since 2005. Every spring, I get the same messages from people who were fine in the fall, thrilled with their offer, and then 1L grades hit and the money moved. And almost none of them saw it coming because the trap isn't in the big number on the front of the letter, it's in one sentence about renewal, and the way that sentence collides with how law school grades actually work. So here's how conditional scholarships work. The school offers you money, say a chunk off tuition every year for 3 years. But there's a condition attached to years 2 and 3. You've got to keep a certain GPA or keep yourself in a certain part of the class to renew it. If you miss that threshold, you lose some or all of the award. And it sounds fair on its face. Keep your grades up, keep your money. I mean, that's how scholarships work in college in many cases. But there's something different about law school. First year law school grades run on a forced curve. The school decides in advance what the grade distribution has to look like. A set percentage of the class gets the high marks, a set percentage lands in the middle, and a set percentage gets low ones. Doesn't matter how hard everybody works or how strong the class is. The curve is a shape the school imposes, so somebody has to be at the bottom of it by design. Now watch what happens when you put those two things next to each other. The renewal line on your scholarship is a GPA. The curve guarantees in advance that a predictable share of the class finishes below any given GPA. And so if the school sets the renewal line at or above the class median, then a big piece of the class is mathematically guaranteed to fall under it. So when you read that you've got to maintain a 3.0 GPA to renew, the real question isn't whether you're smart enough, it's where the school set the curve and what fraction of the class the curve drops below that number every single year. If the median is sitting right around that line, the school knows going in that a chunk of the students they gave money to are going to lose it. They're not hoping everybody keeps the award, they budgeted for a share of you to lose it. And this is measurable because the ABA makes schools disclose it. Take the year the data came in clean, over 9,000 students started law school on conditional scholarships. About 2,500 of them, about 27%, had that money reduced or taken away. So more than 1 in 4 students who signed up on a conditional award watched it shrink or disappear. And that's not a fluke, that's the design doing what it was built to do. Now here's the part that should make you uneasy. Even in a good year, this keeps happening. As recently as 2024, about 5% of first-year students lost some or all of their scholarship value. And the rate has come down over the years, and that's real progress, but it never hits zero. It can't, because a forced curve guarantees a bottom of the class. So if the renewal line sits at or above the median, the curve drops a predictable slice of students under it every single year. In other words, the curve is manufacturing losers on schedule. The only open question is whether one of them is you. So imagine you picked a school partly because of the money. Maybe you turned down another offer for it. You built your budget, your loans, your whole 3-year plan around a number the school knew a share of students would never keep. Then year 2, the tuition bill jumps back up, and now you're borrowing the difference at a moment when you can't exactly transfer out mid-degree without the cost. The school already has you. So the problem here is not the professors, it's the renewal terms attached to a curve that manufactures losers based on schedule. So the school gets to advertise a scholarship and knows it's not going to fully pay out. Now, I'm not here to scare you off law school. I don't think law school is a scam. I never have. At the right school and the right price, it can genuinely be a good bet. The point is to not walk into the trap version of law school with your eyes closed. And better than that, to get the offer that doesn't have a trap in it at all. Because there's a second kind of scholarship, the unconditional one, where the money is yours for all 3 years with no GPA requirement, no curve you've got to survive. Whatever happens 1L year, your award renews. And the thing that gets you the unconditional offer or gets the conditional line dropped low enough that the curve can't touch it is your LSAT score. because schools use scholarship money to buy LSAT scores that protect their own reported medians. The higher your score sits above a school's median, the more they want you in their class, and the more they're going to pay with fewer strings to get you there. A score that is at or above the school's 75th percentile is a different conversation than a score at the median. One gets you a conditional scholarship you've got to sweat every semester. The other gets you money that they're not trying to claw back. You could be the same person, same GPA on your application, a few more points on the LSAT, and the offer changes from conditional to guaranteed. So here's what you actually do with this. Before you commit $1, before you sign anything, you want to pull two things. First, you want to ask the school flat out, is the scholarship conditional or unconditional? And if it's conditional, what percentage of students on this award keep the full amount all the way to graduation? They have to disclose this. Most applicants never ask. The second thing you want to ask is, what is the renewal GPA relative to the class median, and how is the 1L curve set? If the renewal line sits at or above the median, you know the curve is going to take the award from a predictable share of the class, and you've got to decide if you're betting that you're not in that share. And if the answer you get is not a good one, don't lower your standards, don't accept the trap offer, raise your LSAT score, come back to the table, or take a better offer from a different school where you got unconditional money. Because the award letter is just the school's opening offer. You can negotiate. And the one lever that changes what offers you get and your negotiating leverage is your LSAT score. The schools are hoping that you'll read the big number and skip the fine print. Now you won't. And if you want my help getting a better LSAT score, getting better offers, that's what I'm here to help you out with. I'm offering free LSAT tutoring for everybody watching this now or later. You can book that free tutoring lesson with me at unpluggedprep.com/start. The link is below the video on YouTube, pinned in the chat on YouTube, in my bio on TikTok and IG.